So let me ask you a question here. What would be your dream scenario in a sports betting market? If you're a value bettor, you want to be able to bet into the market at a price that's significantly removed from its true price, something that definitely is going to produce value, something way off from the current odds that will definitely make you money over the long term. And if you're a Betfair trader, what you want to do is to be able to participate in a market, get a trade through the market at absolutely enormous profit fairly quickly with virtually no risk. Both those scenarios seem absolutely ridiculous. But this month, at least on 3 occasions of note, I can tell you that this scenario has occurred, a situation where you could profit, where it's happened fairly quickly. And the great thing is you can pick up on these opportunities completely automatically and get them to trade completely automatically on Betangel, which is exactly what I and other people have done. So if you want to understand what is going on and what this particular trade is, then watch the rest of this video. But where we're going to start is actually in financial markets, because to understand exactly what's going on here and why this opportunity presents itself, we need to look back at a situation that occurred in 2010.
There's classic capitulation. There are some people who are proposing there was some kind of fat finger error. We have commodities that have been a bad print in Procter & Gamble.
The biggest single widening day since Lee.
There was panic selling on the way down, and all of a sudden it just stopped on it.
What the heck is going on down here? I don't know. All of a sudden here, we started hearing screaming, buy, buy, buy.
So back in 2010, we had this remarkable situation that occurred in the US stock market, where over the course of 36 minutes, we had a massive sell-off that occurred that basically wiped out $1 trillion on the Dow Jones index. It had an impact across markets. The effects rippled all over the place, and everybody was like, what the hell happened there? And the funny thing is that situations like this seem to occur with remarkable regularity. On this particular occasion, it's probably worth describing and giving some of the depth behind the flash crash, and I think that would have to be for a separate video. But one of the things that occurs that you often see in financial markets, even despite the fact that there are safety measures and balances and checks in place, is a thing called a fat finger error. Basically, somebody goes in to place an order or to perform a particular function, they press the button, and then they accidentally add a zero onto the end, or they perform the wrong action or on the wrong financial instrument, and that creates a moment of madness within the market that sort of, throws everything into a tailspin. Now, there have been a number of these over the years, and if you actually look at Betfair exchange markets, you often see the same thing occurring here. It can occur across a number of sports, but where I sort of monitor and look at this most regularly is within the horse racing markets. And in the same way that you get a flash crash or a fat finger error on financial markets, you can very often get those errors occur within betting markets as well. Just as we look at the flash crash and some of the errors that we see within financial markets, you sort of can open and offer up a range of explanations as to why these situations occur, but nonetheless they do occur. And at the time of recording this video in this particular month, we've had 3 of these incidents occur on horse racing markets. And what tends to happen is you're looking at a market and then all of a sudden it just goes completely bonkers. So why does this occur? Well, you can speculate as to what's going on. Sometimes you can see a pattern. In one of the markets that occurred this month, we could actually see that what actually happened was somebody came into the market with a large amount of money and they backed several runners at odds of 3. You can actually see that reflected on Betangel. You can see it reflected within the market. All of the data is there for you to be able to examine. The only thing we can't work out is who did it and particularly why, but we can see the after effects that occur within the market. So if you've got something trading at a much higher price and the price absolutely crashes down, then necessarily as a trader you can basically just lay that and wait for the price to mean revert, because once that initial shock has occurred within the market, then inevitably the price heads back up in the other direction. And thanks to cross matching, again, need a separate video to explain that, you very often get spikes in the opposite direction on other selections within the market, which will then mean revert back down to their true price. If you're a value better, it sort of makes sense at that point to take a position. But when you're value betting, the easiest way to get value out of a market is to go into a market, actually decide what odds you'd be willing to back or lay out, and then actually put those odds into the market. If they get matched, fantastic, you've definitely got a value bet. If they don't get matched, well, you know, it doesn't matter, nothing happens. And you don't have to accept the odds that you see on the exchange. That's one of the great benefits of a betting exchange, is if you're a value better, you create the book, the prices that you think you should be able to back and lay out, where you know that value exists, and then you can just put them in the market. You don't have to pay for that privilege, and if they get matched, you know you've got a good price, and if they don't get matched, they just get cancelled, and that is it. From a trading perspective, obviously, you can take advantage of these mispricings and these moments of madness by actually actively trading in and out at those particular points. And the interesting thing about that is that, of course, with Betangel, you can completely automate it. So we have some examples on the forum where you can actually download and run automated betting and trading routines to capture this sort of value and these sort of trades. But there's no reason why you couldn't create your own with a couple of variations in it. And you could put your own spin basically on how you capture value at these particular points within the market. But we also have on the forum a thread which is basically charting the history of these sort of errors over a long period of time. The thread is over 10 years old, and from the first to the most recent post, which I did just a couple of days ago, you can see when all of these situations occur, and people have highlighted them. Sometimes it's me, sometimes people beat me to it and post them up on the forum, but you can basically see a whole history of these sort of errors occur. So these aren't one-offs or random events that occur. Well, they are random, and they do occur mysteriously, but what I'm trying to point out here is that they do occur with an amazing amount of regularity. But the opportunity to take advantage of them is there with Betangel. You can actually pay for Betangel with a relatively small stake and just capturing one of these particular scenarios. And you can just basically run it in the background. You don't even need to be sat at your PC. Betangel can churn away and do all of these things for you. And if it spots one of these particular moments, it can jump on one of them, take advantage of such a sudden price movement, and then actively place a value bet or necessarily a trading position within the market. You shouldn't expect these situations to occur all of the time, because they don't. However, they do occur with an amazing amount of regularity for reasons that we will probably never be able to explain. But the fact is that if you're looking for a value bet or a really good trade that's definitely going to yield you a lot of money at low risk very quickly, then these are sort of scenarios that you should have positions in the market or be very alert to. And the great thing with Betangel is that it can do that automatically. So yeah, very interesting scenario that occurs in the market with sort of an irregular frequency, but nonetheless they have been occurring like this for well over 10 years. We can only speculate as to why they occur or what the person is attempting to do. They look like they are probably errors, but nonetheless, if you're alert to those opportunities, then there's no reason why you can't take advantage of them. Anyhow, I hope that video has been useful for you.